I think that all the states in Michigan specifically, we just have to keep educating ourselves about the level of victimization, about the how children can be victimized by any. It's hard for me to use that word sexting because it really doesn't have a criminal application. When I again, just like what we spoke before earlier about sexting is, from our perspective, it really has to deal with digital images of contraband, of child sexually abusive material. So I think that as long as law enforcement and the state of Michigan, which it does very well, we have an aggressive approach to people who are trying to victimize children. I think that it's always going to be evolving, but it's always going to be evolving to the betterment of making sure that we're doing a good job of keeping our children safe from sexual exploitation, I think. So I think the laws that are currently in place are very good. I have a good base of statutes to work with as far as prosecution, if prosecution is necessary. And I think that technology-based investigations are going to have to continue to evolve because technology is going to continue to advance. So as technology advances, there's going to be different ways that people are going to be able to commit technology-based crimes. So as a law enforcement community member, we're just going to have to make sure that we continue to give ourselves the tools and educate ourselves to make sure that we're representing the children that are being sexually exploited in the best fashion that we can by making sure that we keep up with technology. So legislation will need to evolve with technology is probably the short answer. I had to think that one through. I'd never been asked that.
When you were talking on the panel, you mentioned a lot about responsibility. How could parents do a better job determining whether or not their child is responsible enough for a cell phone?
I don't think I think you have to find a real world application to answer that question. If I ask my child to do their chores, if they have chores at home, which hopefully to some degree that they do, whether it's the smallest thing like, making your bed in the morning or helping, your mom with the laundry or load the dishwasher, that kind of thing, that you can start seeing those signs of whether or not your child's going to be a responsible young person by seeing how helpful they are to you around the home. It's I think that the biggest thing that has to happen is you have to instill upon that child that having that cell phone or having internet access, that it's a privilege. And that's the biggest communication gap that I see, is that parents just look at it as the way that I can communicate with my child. And that, of course, is the primary purpose probably for every parent giving their child a cell phone. But I think that what they don't understand is that they're giving that child a tool to talk to anybody with a cell device or with a landline on the earth, for instance. So I think that as a parent, each child's a little bit different. I think right around that probably 11 to 13-year-old age range, I think a child's capable of understanding how to be responsible using a cell phone if their parents speak to them about it, and have some rules as a parent in place. This is what you do. There should be days, and I didn't get to ask this of everybody earlier, there should be no technology days in your home. It's okay to do that. There's already disorders that are being named for people that use technology too much. So there should be time constraints. It's okay to say, okay, listen, you can send, 100 text messages a month. That's plenty. You know what I mean? I know that that's probably not enough for somebody your age, but it's okay to give them baby steps. Again, no different. I compared it to, I had to learn how to do things. I gave what was happening on the web, my real world experiences. So the same way, I think you probably heard me talking about a driver's license earlier. I'm not just going to give my child the keys to a car at 16 without her having any experience driving a vehicle. I'm going to spend a lot of time with my daughters, making sure that they're very confident and capable and responsible drivers before I let them on the road by themselves. So I have to find real world applications to this new virtual environment that we're in. And you just need to have open communication with your child. Let them know what your expectations are. Let them know it's a privilege. And have times that at 8 o'clock at night, phone's off. You can't turn it back on until 8 o'clock in the morning, that kind of thing. You've probably heard so many horror stories about parents seeing all the texting for a month. A month has gone by and their child's been up from midnight to 5 o'clock every morning texting all night long. They need to have some rules. With responsibility comes some rules when you're a parent. So.
And what is it like to be an adult in a time where sending inappropriate images is considered socially acceptable, even if it's not legal?
I think that I don't think it's a whole lot. What it is, it's the media, it's the capabilities that we have. Even the adults don't understand the responsibility that comes along with those devices. So I think that adults that would have never taken inappropriate photographs before, they have these devices now that are extremely capable of doing all these really wonderful things. I mean, the web and these cell phones are fantastic devices if they're used properly. They just had a basic malfunction in what being responsible with that device is. I think there are a lot of adults that don't even understand the power of those devices when they're in their phones, how much they can hurt themselves or how much they can hurt other people with them. So I think that, again, it has a little bit to do with a technological disconnect, where the kids are significantly more technologically sound and savvy than most 40 to 60-year-olds are right now.
Right.
So I'll go back to what I had said earlier in a couple of the earlier questions, that I think kids that are in that can be up to probably 30 years old now, but the kids that are growing up in this technology-based society, they're going to be in my opinion, they're going to be much better parents at policing or supervising their children with technology. So parents are going to evolve in being better parents and making better decisions. It's a short answer. It's a little unfortunate, I guess, because I don't think that adults realize, even with having these devices around for over a decade now, where they've been very prevalent, they don't even understand the ramifications of the results of taking a photograph or sending some inappropriate words. They don't sometimes think before they act, and adults make mistakes as well. So it's a little bit disappointing, but that people still make those bad decisions. But it's a part of the learning process. We still learn things as an adult every day as well. So hopefully they turn those bad decisions into something that they learn something from. Is what I would guess.
Thank you.
Thank you.